Hey guys, just gonna do a live video here. Just gonna turn off my notifications. I almost always forget to do that. Turn off the sound for the notifications, not the actual notifications. Gonna do some dishes. Hopefully some of you chime in so I'm not talking to myself the whole time. Earlier, I was about to go outside and go do some Hank's planks and stuff, but then it started hailing. It's not hailing now, but it's still raining pretty good, so I don't want to do that. If I had power in my garage, then I would just do it in my garage, but I don't. So I have to do it outside. I just run an extension cord out there, but I don't have enough extension cords to actually reach inside of my garage, just to basically the door. Hey guys, I'm going to be doing some dishes here. These are yesterday's and today's dishes, so there's not very many, but there's a decent amount. Actually, this might be from 2 days ago as well. There's 2, 4, 6. There's 3 meals of dishes here. So this is probably from yesterday, this morning, and all of yesterday, and then this morning, if that makes sense. Hello, everyone. Florida, Greece, Ola. Is that Mexico? As always, you gotta use the Dawn best soap. It's good for ducks. Nebraska, Vancouver Island, dude, I love Vancouver Island. Souk, or Victoria area in general. Tofino's pretty cool too, but it rains way too much there for my liking. But I like the island. Probably my favorite spot on the planet that I've been to. Netherlands, hello. Seattle, that's pretty cool. Also rains a lot there. Finland, never been there. Muskoka, never been there. Hi Josh, I said you needed to do the washing up. Are you the person who is saving their dishes? Nobody loves Mississippi as much as you love Vancouver Island. When I was growing up, people were like, can you spell Mississippi with one I? And then I was like, yeah, probably. And then they were like, so I would start and they'd be like, nope. And then they'd do this, Mississippi. And I was like, oh, I thought you meant MRS, as in like Mrs., like MRS. And then SIPP and then Y instead of another I. I was like, yeah, that's easy. And then I didn't realize that there was another joke attached to it. Amazing followers from all over the world. Yeah, I can't believe there's over 17,000 of you. I mean, there used to be like 17,600 of you, but I'm pretty sure a bunch of those were bandwagoners. But there's still 17,000. I never thought there would be that many. And hopefully it grows, but I'm grateful for everyone because it helps me get my art out there. I've been selling like crazy. I mean, I've always sold enough, but now I'm selling like way more than I can even keep up with. And you guys are awesome. Louisiana, Scottish Highlands, Kentucky, Cape Town, Birmingham, Alabama. Man, you guys are from all over. You guys don't have jobs or what? Oh, Hank. Hey, bud. He probably wants to go outside, but it's raining. I could let him under the porch. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm just going about Montreal. You want to look back? Yo, guys. It was just hailing. This isn't huge hail or anything, but there's so much of it outside. This is a whole bunch of hail. This isn't just one. That would be insane. But yeah, this is crazy. Austin, Arkansas. I'm an artist. I work from home. Awkward pause. Working from home is so great if you're able to do it. I recommend it. Retired, but probably going back to work part-time. Jane doesn't work. 2:30. I'm done work for the day. Work here. It's only 12:40, and I had a late breakfast because I thought, oh, it's a nice day out. It was all sunny and stuff. I was like, oh, I'll get started a little bit later today. And then starts hailing, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I get for not starting right away. I could have gotten a decent amount done today, but I don't know, I'm an idiot. Josh, glad my dishes are done. Dread doing dishes, rather do loads of laundry. I don't like doing laundry or dishes. Shirley wants me to come do their dishes. I hear that dishwashers make doing dishes a lot easier. The weather in Holland is better. Yeah. Hey Dave, I checked out your music, or your channel. Yeah, your music on your channel. It's definitely different. I don't know how I feel about it, but I listened to... I watched 3 of the videos, I think. 3 or 4. At least 3. 1 second. I'll be right back. Actually, you know what? I'll put this here for now. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. I know it's annoying for people who watch these later. Probably for you guys too when I just take off. I think someone is here. I hear a car. I don't know. It's not music, bro. It's just sound and noise if you ask me. Oh, okay. What is it meant for? The sound and noise. Is it for like I don't know. Is it for enjoyment? I mean, it doesn't sound terrible or anything. I'm like, what? But I figured I'd give it a shot because you like subscribed to me, I think, over just catching a live video the other day, which does happen, but I don't know. And then you've been commenting on a whole bunch of videos. Just loaded the dishwasher. I love being lazy today. You get more clean as long as you're pre-rinsing. And it's easier. Learning my equipment. Oh, okay. Hannah says, I'm not hold. Hannah sent me some recipes that I've had this idea. Tell me what you think about this. So my kitchen obviously is not done, right? Probably after the roof is done, I'm going to put in my window because this window is broken. If you guys remember about the SWAT team that came through, remember that story? Anyways, that was my poker story, right? Anyways, the window is broken. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who don't remember or don't know what I'm talking about, that story was made up, so it was a joke. But anyways, this window is broken. I'm gonna get it replaced. Like I have the new window in the garage. We ordered it like months ago, but we haven't put the window in because we're gonna get the roof done, and the bin is gonna be right here, and I just don't want anything hitting the window by accident. So when that is done, we can get the the tile in here done, the backsplash, but I still have to do the countertop over on that side. This is a temporary countertop until we get the new cabinets, lower cabinets, but I don't know when that's going to be because that's expensive, or I just need to have my shop in place. So I'm going to finish up this temporary countertop over there to make it flow, and then my idea, man, I have a way of making things that should be like a 2 sentence story into like 5 paragraphs. Anyways, the idea I had coming from, what was her name again? Hannah? Shit, I forget. Hannah. Yes, Hannah. I just recognized the picture. Um, dish soap is not good for the hands. Yeah, probably not. But anyways, Hannah sent me this recipe, which gave me this idea. Like, my channel's around making, but a lot of you guys are fans of Ashley. And I can still keep my channel about making, or maybe we can make a second channel for Ashley where we try to make food. If we can make this kitchen look like a professional kitchen, I guess. Not a professional kitchen, but like a finished kitchen. Right now it would be shitty. It wouldn't look good. But I don't know. I've been thinking about that. Could make some food. It'd be hilarious if on the first video we just made like grilled cheese or like over easy eggs or something. I'd probably get a lot of like comments that were like, "This is so easy. What a waste of time. This is so stupid. I don't know why I even watched this." I think it would be funny. But anyways, Hannah sent me a recipe that we didn't try yet or anything, but at some point we will. Cool. In the UK and cooking tea. Cool. In the UK and cooking tea. And you are on live. Nice one. Cooking tea? Cooking tea. How do you cook tea? Doesn't make any sense. Maybe it does. Maybe tea is different where you are. Do you have to cook tea? I don't know. Oh, is it buffering right now? Just sub Dave to check out his music later. Well, Hannah, the other Hannah, different Hannah, I invite everyone else to do the same thing. One artist to another. Keep creating, Josh. You're amazing. Thanks, Cindy. Thanks, Hannah. Bring your plugs. I'm wondering about his peg leg scorpion. Did it sell? The scorpion. Oh, shoot. I forgot to post that on Instagram. The scorpion, let me. Scorpion is right here. I'm pretty sure that it is sold. I think I have payment. What is this? I think I have payment in my inbox, in my email. I try to check that now only once a day so that I don't lose track of who paid and like who I still have to message back and stuff, because man, it is frustrating going through all the social medias and all the email and all that stuff and trying to figure out where. I'm like, all right, her name, I think it started with an S, or maybe it was a C. Was her name Cindy or Carol or Stacy? Something like that. And then I look for all those names. I'm like, oh no, it wasn't even a girl. It's a dude named Luigi. And then I finally figure it out. Anyways, I try to check the messages only once a day, usually at the end of the day, so that I can send out all the new invoices and I can process all the payments so that I can then put like ship everything on Monday, so that I'm not like scrambling to do it in a whole bunch of confusion. So I'm pretty sure it's gone. I forgot to put it on Instagram. But yeah, that was like an experiment. I was looking for metal bits for the body, and then I pulled out a random box that I hadn't looked in. I believe that leg came from Mary's, the Potter's house. The wrench did, for sure. The wrench did. And I believe these legs did. I have 2 more. There was only 3. And I was like, because like if I haven't seen the boxes yet, sometimes I just open it up. So I would have packed this on purpose, but I forgot about it. And in a box from her house, I had just a box, a big old box, and I just started sticking stuff in there. I was like, I'll take this and this and this and this. It's like, oh, I could probably make something out of this. Who knows? And then, yeah, I didn't know it was going to be a scorpion when I grabbed it, but you know, That's kind of how I work. Kind of do whatever I want, uh, when I want to do it, sort of thing. Not necessarily like, oh, this piece is going to be this. Although sometimes that does happen too, where I'm like, all right, this piece of rebar, was already somewhat bent, which gave me the idea to use it as a tail. But like, say, for example, I'm trying to think. Sometimes I will take a piece, I'll find a piece somewhere and I'll be like, this for sure is going to be an X one day. Like, I have these jack stand bases and they're aluminum. And I was like, oh, those are going to be lamp bases. So I have three of them, two one side and one another side. And I'm like, that's totally going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be a lamp. What idea are you talking about, Josh? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm already lost. I'm probably way behind in these comments. Let me scroll all the way down. Using your talent to recycle. How neat is that? I'd say it's pretty neat. It is lunch and dinner, but some call it dinner and tea. Oh, tea. Right. I forgot about tea being a meal overseas there. Here, tea is just a drink. Like a hot drink. Although you can have iced tea too, or sweet tea. We don't really have sweet tea in Canada. I mean, we do have sweet tea, but it's not like that's more of like a southern thing. Sweet tea. We have it more of as like a novelty at like fairs and events where they'll have like a sweet tea, a place that sells sweet tea, which is way too sweet. I'm like, oh man, what is this? I have a little bit of water in my sugar. But I am from London originally, so maybe that's why. Hey there, from Florida. I really admire your creativity. Thank you, Never Hopeless by Elizabeth. I appreciate that. I try to do something out of the box every once in a while. I appreciate you following along. I'm drinking sweet tea. You know, I prefer iced tea over sweet tea. What did you get from the toy shop? Actually, we didn't get anything from the toy shop. I got it from Canadian Tire instead. And I can't say, because it'll give away what the project is, which we might not even be able to do the project, but it's like top secret right now. Once we figure out if we're actually going to do it or not, then I'll let you know what it was. But I think that's not going to be for like until around Christmas time that I'll be able to say anything about it, which is kind of a bummer. So that was a terrible teaser that I did. Yeah, we were looking for not so much a toy, but more so of a mechanism. And Canadian Tire, by the way, is like a Canadian sort of hardware slash tool slash automotive slash home store kind of thing. Out of the box is awesome. I work to live outside of mine. You work to live outside of yours. All right, I like that. My mom called. Did I miss anything in the past 5 minutes? Not really. I love watching you making and painting things. You are awesome. Oh, our good friend Steve Hatt called me a bellend. I think that is the most hilarious and most like weak sounding insult. Bellend. British people, the way they like, or wherever that comes from, the way that they talk sounds so I don't know if feminine is the right word, but the way they insult people, it's just is hilarious. Now, I don't know if that Steve Hatt guy is actually British or whatever, but I don't know. I don't mind him being around, but bellend. That's like saying dickhead, right? I think that's funny. Someone said they're going back to work. Thanks for the hat. Bill Taylor. Thanks for the hat. Have a good long weekend. Did you get your hat already? Dang, that was fast shipping. Yeah. Awesome. Sweet tea can be sickeningly sweet. It can be iced too. Oh yeah, isn't it usually iced? I don't know. Like iced tea here, like there's two types of iced tea here. Well, probably lots of places. Right? There's like literal iced tea where it's like you just take some tea, you boil the water, you put the tea in, you steep it, and then you let it get cold, and then you put ice in it. Or you can get iced tea like the soda type of iced tea where it's like pretty sugary and it kind of tastes like tea, but it mostly tastes kind of like juice, sort of. I don't know. It's like brisk iced tea is probably my favorite. I don't know, it comes in a can or a bottle. Ashley, the Nirvana chick, is here. Hello. English slang is wild. English slang is like when you hear people say like if they come here like a British person or anyone from uh, I guess the UK or anywhere in Europe, I guess. Or maybe not anywhere, but you know, the places with the accents. I guess I have the accent to them, but when when you hear them say something, what is this? One second. When you hear them say something that's like a word to you as well, but it doesn't mean it, like bell end, that sounds hilarious. Bell end, that sounds like, you know, like that sounds like what I imagine putting a 9-volt battery to your tongue feels like. That's what that sounds like. Like it's a little weird, but it's not that bad. I don't know how to explain that better than that. That was probably a terrible way of explaining that. Um, Bill Taylor did get his hat. Awesome. They politely insult. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know too many British people. I remember when I was young, I used to live at this lake. Um, like, not at the lake, but like there's a lake really close by. Like, I could walk to it in about, I don't know, I'd say 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so. And there was a campground. Anyways, there's these twins who went there, and they were British. And they're like, they would always say, "Are you trying to chat me up?" And I was like, "What is that? Chat me up?" Are you trying to chat me up? I was like, I don't know. Am I? I don't even know what that means. That was when I was young. I was probably 13 or so. Yeah, I would say 13. Bell End is set in the UK, and not sure if it originates from there. Ella, English people swearing. What kind of welder do you use on your small pieces? I like the rooster. Okay, so my welder is a 140, just MIG welder with no gas. So I don't use gas. I would use gas if I had the gas, but I just have never gone and bought a cylinder because it costs $300, and I at one point I almost went to go get one, and then I just didn't have time, and I didn't know where to get one, and then I just never have, and now I can't afford one, so I just haven't gotten one. But it works for art, right? So without gas, you get a lot of slag and stuff. I don't know if you can see this, but you can see how it's all kind of like, well, let's see if I can get that to focus. Nope, that doesn't work the same way. But anyways, it's kind of messy, but it works for this type of art. See, like, look under there. And the welds are not, they're not super pretty at all. And also, it doesn't help that I'm not a good welder, right? Like, I'm just learning how to do this. So, as time goes on, I'm sure I could get better. This is just a 140, so it's, you know, it just plugs into the wall. If I had a bigger welder, like even just a 180 or something, I use a Lincoln welder, Lincoln Electric or whatever it's called. But this is one that you can just get as a hobbyist. I got mine from a pawn shop. You can buy almost the same model at like Canadian Tire or Home Depot or Rona or Lowe's or some places like that. But they have like the HD version, which is just for some reason it's a little different. I don't know. Mine came from not one of those places, so it's a little better. Um, Not much better, but for whatever reason, those two models are slightly different, and I'm not sure exactly. And I could just be uh, relaying false information, so I don't actually know what the difference is. But, anyways, I got mine from a pawn shop. It was 300 bones with the cart, and then the whip and everything. Like it came with everything. It can even weld aluminum if I get an aluminum spool, but I've never tried it yet. I'm sure there's probably more that goes into that anyways. But yeah, this is the little 140. Eventually I'll get a bigger welder and I'll get gas, but I'll probably always keep the 140 so that I can do the shittier welding where I want to intentionally make it look a little more grouty. But with the gas, it'll be a little better penetration and stuff because it's like a shielding gas that keeps all like the impure air or whatever away from it or something like that. I don't really understand it too much. Um, this you can get good welds with it, but it just takes a little more finesse. There's a lot of pitting in these welds, but it's good enough for this. As long as it holds for this, it's good. And I have used it to make tables and stuff where I've had to like clean the metal. Like with these, I don't even clean the metal because I like the patina on it. But if you want a good weld, you should grind away all the surface rust and whatever else is on there and clean all like the gunk off of it before you try to weld it. I hear with gas, you should still do it, but it penetrates a lot better, so it's less imperative. Although you should still do it if you're gonna weld something structural, especially. It should be nice and clean and stuff, right? Um, in this case, yeah, doesn't matter. Hello, Lawrence from Amsterdam. Damn, Dan. Don't worry, UK people swear to you. Oh, I imagine they do. Brisk is good. We can buy Lipton iced tea and it's disgusting. Iced tea? Lipton's iced tea? Is that? No, I don't mind Lipton's iced tea. It's not as good as Brisk though. Another happy moment. Dishes. Here to Glasto next weekend. Glasto? I'm a tea snob. Must be freshly brewed, not store bought. Like hot tea? That makes sense. Or are you talking about cold tea? Back to work. Have a good day. Adios. See ya. Who's Tiny? Then there's sun tea. I don't know what that is. Have you thought of doing metal trees? I have done metal trees. If you follow my Instagram at Ushitat, there's uh, a lady wanted me to make a tree. What do you call it? Like the vent thing that's in your floor. Because she saw one that I made previously, but she wanted to put it on her wall. And I was like, that's gonna look stupid because of the way that it's constructed. So I was like, how about I just make you a frame that's got trees in it? So it's like a metal frame. And then I saw that her husband or boyfriend or whoever it was restores old axes. So I took one of his axes that she thought he wouldn't notice. And then I made a frame that holds one of his axes and it has like trees in it and stuff. And the trees are just made out of, I think, ready rod and nails or something like that. It looks pretty dope though. Oh, Ken's here. My brother Ken. If you guys don't know Ken, I didn't know he had a YouTube channel. Uh, Shish Kebab. You should go subscribe to him. I'm pretty sure he's not going to do. Well, maybe he will. I don't know. But he's asked me if I want some beef jerky. That's hilarious. No, I don't. I want some regular beef jerky, not that hot stuff. But you guys should go check out my brother Ken's um, Instagram with the same name. He always says that there's a space in it, but to actually search for it, you don't have to put the spaces. So at SHKEBOB, check it out. He does photography. It's really cool. I'm hoping that he'll upload this one picture that he went and visited my brother Dave. Anyways, the fires are over there, and he has this one picture in particular that I think is really cool that I hope he has a chance to put on soon. He went back home, so he's in LA now. So hopefully he'll have time to do that. I don't know. I know that he uploaded a new picture of some winter photo. It's pretty cool. But yeah. Anyways, in Japan it's warm, hot. Generally, Americans think it's best to do everything backwards. I love hot tea with a sugar cube, even in 97-degree weather. I try harder not to insult people. It's rude. Yeah, well, that we're talking about that Steve Hack guy. He's a troll, or maybe he's not. Maybe he's just an asshole. Um, so we're just talking about him trying to always insult me, uh, which is what brought up the subject. Not that I'm advocating making fun of people or whatever, or insulting them. All right, I'm gonna scroll down here. Beth Stone King. Very rarely can I hear an accent from you. Well, if I sound different than you, wouldn't that be technically an accent? I don't know. I always thought of like accents from everyone who's not from like Canada or like North America. But then like if you go to like Texas, that's definitely an accent to me. Like who's the normal sounding person? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how to like gauge it necessarily. Would a flux welder work? A flux welder. I don't. I don't know what that is. Like, are you saying like an arc welder or like okay? So like a flux welder is like, if I'm thinking correctly, is like an arc weld with like the huge rods. That would work for sure. That's huge though, and I mean you can like weld pipe and stuff with that. I don't know. I'm not well versed in welding, right? The stuff that I know, I first started learning because I worked at the Edmonton Fab Shop, so I learned a little bit from there. And then my older brother Will is a welder. He used to live in BC and he was welding there, and then he moved here and then he started a new apprenticeship here. Anyways, he basically kind of taught me by doing some ideas. So a lot of like things that he made were his own stuff, but then I didn't know how to weld, so I was like, "Yo, can you make a bomb out of my old exhaust?" So he made a couple bombs, and then I was like, "Yo, can you make a this? Can you make a that? Can you make this table design that I came up with? Can you make this?" Then we came up with a table design that we collaborated on and stuff. And then just watching him do all that stuff, like the weave patterns and stuff, right? So that's how I learned how to do what I do. I didn't really learn the theory behind welding so much. I just know that you need to have a ground and you need to have your wire or whatever you're welding with, and you need to have your shield. In my case, I use flux core wire or shielded wire, or whatever it's called, which makes for the ugly welds. Now, if you have the gas that comes out around, so if you have like your tunnel, then you have your wire in the middle of that tunnel. The gas goes in around the wire and it does its thing. In my case, it's inside of the wire, and when the arc hits, it opens up that wire or whatever, and then it creates your shielding that way. And then you have to clean off the flux after. Now with the arc welders, the flux is on the outside. You can make a really pretty weld with that, but then you gotta chip off the flux after. Something like that. Do not take what I say as gospel because I don't actually know what I'm talking about. That's just how I understand it. So would a flux welder work? Yes. If I'm thinking what you're thinking of what a flux welder is. I don't know what a flux welder is. I've never heard of it called that, but I think you're thinking about an arc welder. I don't know. Perhaps there's other comments here. Dave says lots of spatter, not as good penetration, but for art it works fine. Yeah, totally. And it and if you take enough time, clean your welds, clean where you're going to weld, and don't have a lot of wind and stuff in your shop or whatever, you can make a decent weld. It's just way easier with gas. Way easier. Then you don't have to clean in between. Yeah. Well, you should sometime. I don't know. I'm not a welder, so I don't know. I giggle when I hear him say certain words that Canadians are known for saying differently. Y'all don't want to hear me talk. It's awful. Different words. Canadians say differently. What words would we say differently? I imagine there's words like root and route. Like that's said differently, right? And like semi and semi. And man, now I'm trying to think of them. I have no idea. Beanie and toque. Those are completely different. Uh, Although we do have beanies here too, but a beanie here is like not like a winter hat or whatever, like a wool knit hat or whatever. Like that's a toque, and then a beanie is like a kind of the same thing, but not. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what else like hoodie. And I know don't British people call hoodies jumpers? I mean you're not British, but like there's that. That's different. Okay, I'm running out of room here. Running out of room. All right, I bet your pawn shops out there are just filled with great stuff. All those oil workers who leave the patch, not to mention those who introduce themselves to the drug lifestyle. Word. Well, a lot of the stuff is stolen in pawn shops. So at some pawn shops, their policy is they take the object or whatever for a certain amount of time, depending on its value, and then you, as the person pawning it, don't get all of the money right away. You have to go back to get the rest of the money. That's not everywhere, and it's actually kind of rare, but that's one thing that some pawn shops do because people get stuff stolen all the time. Like there was two chop shops that were busted. One last year and one earlier this year, I believe, where like tons of places were looted, not looted, but like robbed, burglarized, whatever, including my in-laws' neighbors, a whole bunch of them actually. I lived with them at the time, and I saw them burglaring my neighbor, but I didn't know. I was like, huh, I wonder why they're parked like that. That's strange. And I watched them take some of their stuff, pack it up, and leave. And I was just basically like, hey guys, have a good day. Because they were like so brazen and it just looked like they were there. And, not to mention, the lady was home. They took it from her garage, which was detached. Took it, and then she left. She came back, went in her garage, saw the rest of her stuff lined up because they were going to come back with a bigger truck. She called the police, and I believe that's how they caught the whole operation, which is crazy because it was like millions of dollars worth of stuff that was stolen. A lot of my neighbors, what they were doing is they were going around scoping places by offering to pave driveways. But my dog was there, so he never came into our yard because he would have gotten his legs ripped off. So he didn't come in, which is good. Good for him and good for us. Um, we didn't get robbed, but our next door neighbor did, and the other neighbor, like there's four houses, right? The next door neighbor didn't. That neighbor didn't because they weren't exactly moved in yet, and that neighbor had a gate as well, so they didn't. But a whole bunch of the other neighbors did. It was pretty insane. But I think most of them got their stuff back. Uh, I'm the only one here from Panama. Thanks, Josh. Don't take those as welding tips. Stacy says, thanks for the welding tips. I don't know. I just know what I do. Do not take that as advice. Just take that as like, I didn't know Josh did it that way. Do it like that. Hi Josh, I can never hear you when you're doing dishes. Is it just me or is there an adjustment you can make? There's no adjustment. I'm talking loud. I'm talking louder than I normally talk, and I can't adjust anything else. Like there's no option here. Tiny ducks. I'm tiny. Oh, when people are saying hi, tiny. Love the beef jerky tasting too. Also love learning about Jade. Yeah, me too. Sun tea steeps in a jug of water in the sun. Oh, okay. Yeah, we do that too. Uh, I just thought that was just tea, like warm tea. I don't know. Did you ice it after? It's just a way of making iced tea, I thought. Just make hot iced tea, put in a few lemon wedges, add sugar, then put in the fridge for a few hours. And sun tea is just that. It's tea bags and water placed in the sun for the day to steep. Yeah, no, I know what that is. Um, Talking with a spoon, swinging around. Sounds good, but I was thinking small tabletop tree. Depends on the post. Oh, yeah, I could do that. Probably. Yeah. It just depends on what you're looking for. If you want to actually order that, I can put you on the list. It's quite long now, so the wait could be a while, or it could be like the next thing I make. I put it in the list. I try to make them in order, but I make them in the order of how I find the material. So if I find a piece that's perfect for what I'm going to make on the list, then I'll make that first because I have it right there and I may as well make it because it's right there. Um, so even if you're last on the list, you might be the first thing that I make because I just have the material. Because like I can't go, well, I can, but I choose not to just go buy the material as I get. I'd have to charge a little bit more anyways because I'd be buying stuff. But in this case, I like making out of junk. So if I find the good junk, then I don't have to wait for it to like I don't know. I don't have to wait for me to find all the junk for the other stuff, if that makes sense. Oh hey Cindy L, thank you so much. She sent me $20. Uh, Finally able to post a comment. Not sure what YouTube is up to. Yeah, Cindy L sent $20 and didn't say anything, so I'm not sure why she did that, but I appreciate it. I'm gonna go down to the bottom here. I'll send a message about tree. Post to England, no rush. If it's like about this big or so, I think I can smell. I can send that small packet, and small packet is around $25 to $35 to send. Sometimes it changes for some reason. Last time I was talking about having issues with the postage being more or less or whatever, and I think that lady just screwed up in charging me so much more for the postage. I know in Canada it costs more, so that would have made sense. But these were going to the U.S. and they were like, it was $26 or something like that when it's normally around $15 or something like that. And I was just like, this doesn't make any sense. But then when I sent all the hats, which is considered a small packet, it's it was back down to $15. So like that's a $11 difference. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. How come she charged me this much for something that was smaller and weighed the same? And she's like, oh, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. So I went to a different post office. Like there's four that are really close to me. Because these two towns are kind of really close. And there's the actual post office, and then there's the post office at the Shoppers Drug Mart, which is what I like going to. Um, it's just better. Well, it's better for me anyways. Plus that's where the P.O. box is. And they don't always make me fill out a customs thing. They'll just use the easy customs thing, which is way easier. Although the other day I sent out probably 100 packages or something like Ow, cheese grater. Sent out about 100 packages or so. And I went to 2 post offices. And the lineup was just getting so huge behind me in the one. So I was like, you know what? I'll take all the rest of these and I'll go somewhere else. Because the girl was by herself and she was stressed out. I think she was grateful though. And I think the people behind me were grateful too. So I went to the other post office, which was only one employee too, but there was way less people in line. And I would like, I'm like, all right, let's send out all the American ones. Then we'll let these people go through. Then when that was done, I was like, okay, now let's send out all the Canadian ones. And then we'll let these people go through. And then I was like, all right, let's send out all the international ones. And then I was done. It made things go way faster. For everyone else. For me, it was still slow. But I need customers first, lol. Chris McQuaig. Man, I need a customer list. But I need customers first. Hey, if you guys don't know Chris McQuaig, I've been talking to him on Facebook here and there. He makes as well. He does a little posting on Facebook, but I'm sure he'll do more as he has time to make more stuff. But he does way more detailed work than I do, for the most part. Sometimes I do detailed work, but just check out his stuff. He makes he's making this. I hope you don't want me to say this too late. He's making this sick ass fish right now out of wood. He's been showing me pictures of it anyways. So you guys should check out Chris McQuaig on Facebook and on Instagram. Hey Chris, I don't know what your page is called. I think it's called something different than your actual name, but you should just post your thing here. Man, one fishing lure cost me 46 bucks Canadian to send to Alabama. Holy crap. Did you put insurance and tracking on there though? Because that always costs more. I never do that unless the customer requests it, because that's insane. I mean, I make them pay for it too, but still, that's crazy. $46. The most expensive package I ever sent was $360, and that was to New Zealand. For one of you guys. If you order from the UK, you have to pay customs tax plus €8. I don't know what that is for anything you receive, just so people are aware. Okay. Yes, we definitely get screwed on the prices on lots of things here in Canada. I recently learned that the franchise post offices in Canada can set their own rates. They cannot set their own rates on sending packages. Those are set. They can set their own rates on selling their other services, like their packaging and stuff like that. I asked the actual post office if that was true, because I heard that as well, and she said no, because it's federal, so it's regulated federally, and therefore it's all the same. That's what she told me. I mean, she could have been ill-informed, maybe. I don't know, but she actually worked at the actual post office, so I don't know. Deets, that's through Canada Post, as it's the only place where I live that will ship. Do you have cleanup days in your area? We do once a year, and the people come out like crazy, driving around in their picking up scrap. If it wasn't so expensive, I'd send you stuff. Awesome. Yeah, we do. When Clint was helping me with my bathroom, that's when we had ours, but I never had a chance to go around. I just had too much stuff to do. And also my truck shit the bed, so I just couldn't. So Cindy Lee, I gave a super chat to let you know I support you. Thanks for sharing. Oh, I super appreciate it. Thank you. The post office is always understaffed. Drives me nuts. Yes, and they keep getting raises. I don't get it. Hire more people, and then they won't be so stressed, and then they won't think that they're underpaid. Jeez. They are underpaid because they have such stressful jobs, but if they hired more people, they wouldn't be underpaid because their jobs wouldn't be so stressful. I don't know. That's just me. Whew. Out. You guys make that super simple word sound way more beautiful than Americans. Out? Well, certain parts of Canada, they say out, which sounds retarded. I don't like that at all. But, I mean, it all depends on where you're from, I guess, in Canada. Just like in the US, you say words different. Uh, but out, like my grandfather, he says out. Which, I'm like, Roger, why are you talking like that? He's like, what? I'm like, why are you talking like a stereotypical Canadian? He's like, what are you talking about, man? But yeah, he talks like he's from Toronto. Like he's from Ontario. Ontario? That's how he says Ontario. Ontario. Alright. Let's see, what are we at here? Let's go down here. I am just starting out. You didn't have to do that, Josh, but thank you very much. I guess I will just post it here, LL. It's Big Pig Baits on Facebook and Chris McQuaig on YouTube. This is a very small sample of what I do. Word. Guys, I know like in every vlog that I post, I'm like, yo, follow this person. And some of you do, but you guys should actually follow Chris. So he's Chris McQuaig on YouTube. ChrisMcCuaig. And then he's Big Pig Baits on Facebook. Yeah, I knew it was a different name. I thought I was the only one who said shit to bed in terms of something giving up. Yeah, that's a term. Thank you very much, DD. I do want to start vlogging, but I'm a bit camera shy. LL trying to get over it. Yo, this is how I got over talking to a camera. I'm not camera shy. I don't mind being the center of attention at all. But sometimes it's awkward talking to nobody, like talking to a phone. Uh, so what I did is I started doing mad, what do you call them? Instagram live, not live, stories. And I would just like where people like put like three stories and like one of them will be a picture of with those stupid filters on it and stuff. I would do like things throughout the day, like what I was working on. And the reason why I did them on the stories is because they disappear, so they're not there forever. And so I was doing that to kind of get used to it and then leaving it on there. And I would get like a decent amount of views on there. Like I think I probably get like 1,000 views or something like that nowadays. But back when I only had like 1,000 followers or something like that, it would be like, I don't know, like 100 or so, maybe 150-ish views or something. And if 150 people start it, it would like dwindle down to like 9 at the end because I'd have like 30 stories, which I think they're like 15 seconds long or 30 seconds long or something. I don't remember how long. I think they're like 15 seconds. Then at the end there'd be like 9 people. Those 9 people, if I checked, I didn't always check. Actually, I almost never checked, but I would see like the same names all the time, and I'm like, man. And then like some of the more famous makers on YouTube and stuff who follow me, which is awesome. They oftentimes they would be on at the end, and I was like, really? Word? You like what I do? It's crazy because like some people are so talented, and I'm like, how come you're interested in what I do? Like I think I'm decently talented and like I'm a pretty creative guy, but like some of these people, like their skill set is way beyond mine, and they still take the time to watch what I'm doing, and I always thought that was so incredible. But anyways, my whole point is that's how I got used to talking to nobody. It was just talking on uh, my live or my story, and in the stories, I would often, and I still will at some point when I have time, I would make up stories, right? Like, because they're called stories, so I would make stories. So there was this one where it started off innocently enough. Me and my brother needed to go to the doctor because he's deaf. Like Dakota is deaf in his right ear, I think. Yes, in his right ear. So we went to the doctor. Like I drove him to the doctor. It gives him really bad vertigo and stuff sometimes. So if you hear that he's sick, it's usually vertigo. Um, so like we're at the doctor, and I just made this story for whatever reason of me beside him, and I point the camera at him, and then I point it back at me, and then I'm like, "We got arrested," and like I was joking. We didn't actually get arrested, right? But I was like, "We got arrested," but I whispered it, and then I just kept it going for several days, and then I even had like an orange jumpsuit, and I was like cleaning up garbage, and I was like, okay, like, and in my old shop, it's got like cinder block construction, so I was just up against the white wall, wearing an orange sweater, and I was like, okay, so they didn't find my phone somehow. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next. My phone is gonna die, so I'm only gonna update you like once or twice a day or something like that. And then to keep it believable, I didn't post anything on Instagram, but I posted on my actual like my personal Facebook. So some people were like messaging me like, "Yo, are you in jail? Dude, what's going on?" It was hilarious. And eventually I said that it was a joke. But that was after like 3 or 4 days or something like that. And I had an art show during that time as well. So that was confusing for some people. They're like, "What? I thought you were in jail." But I wasn't. Also, my wife was like, "This is probably not good for your clients. If they see that, they're going to be upset." And I was like, "Nah, it's a joke. It's supposed to be funny. It's my Instagram. I can do whatever I want." She didn't see it that way because she's like, "You don't want these people thinking you're some sort of scumbag." But yeah, it was kind of fun. Do you know what it means to go postal? Yeah, you go insane if you work at the post office and then you start killing people because you're so stressed and somehow you think that killing people is going to make things better. I don't know, something like that. You say Toronto right. We never say the T in Toronto. Yeah, well, you say the first T. You just don't say the second one. Toronto or Toronto. No, it sounds stupid when people say that. Okay, I'm done the dishes, folks. Um, Uh-oh, I followed Chris' personal page on Facebook, I guess. We'll follow his other one, and maybe he'll accept your friend request. I always am accepting friend requests, except for to people who have fake ones, because that's annoying. You always talk as if we were all there in the kitchen. That weird sign is a pound. Okay, pound. What did I call it? A euro? Josh, you were more natural on cam than you think. Yeah, but it took some time. Josh, you are super talented too. Don't undersell yourself. Let's see if I can. Oh, frick off. 1 second. I'm gonna chat with you guys for a little while longer because I have to do something. I'm gonna show you guys this praying mantis that I'm gonna send out on Monday. Okay, 1 second. Let me just find something here. 1 second. 1 second. This is my old phone. Look, I shattered that. Okay, 1 second. Figuring it out here. Turn that down. There we go. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Man, hold on a second, guys. Oh, okay, awesome. I don't know how to really delete people off of here, but that worked, I think. Oh, sick, it worked. I don't like doing this on your stream, but thank you for the shout out, Josh. And thank you to anyone and everyone for the support. Oh, yeah, no worries. I mean, you off. Okay, so this Chris guy, I don't know him. I just know his name's Chris and his last name's McQuaig. I could even be saying that wrong. It might be like Chris Stomping. I don't know. He could have a weird name. Uh, that's just spelled wrong. Oh, the name is silent. It's actually pronounced like this. But he's gonna give me. He's got some barnwood and some other nice live edge wood and burl that he said I could have. He lives in Saskatchewan somewhere. I can't remember where. Somewhere in Saskatchewan. I don't have a truck, so I can't do that. I can't get it. Oh, nah. Well, I already started saying it, so I'll say it. So my Teespring, I'm gonna use the cash that I get from Teespring to buy a new truck. So shameless plug here. Go check out my Teespring. I'm gonna make something on there that's super affordable, because you can set the prices. I'm just so far I've been taking the what do you call it, the recommended prices. That's not the word, is it? They set a price for you to start with, and that's what I've been pricing everything at. But you can make your own price. I'm gonna make something on there that's like super affordable, so that you guys could just grab that. That would be sick. If you can't, I totally get it, and I don't expect anyone to. That's weird to ask for money. But if I can give you something in exchange for it, that would be dope. But I've decided that I'm gonna use that to buy the new truck, which is gonna be a used truck. I can't get a new one because then I won't be able to treat it as a work truck because I'll be like, no, don't put it in there. We gotta keep it in the garage. uh, I get vertigo. It's terrible. It hit me once when I was driving. Never been so scared. Only with God's help I got pulled off the road. Traffic was busy on this highway I was on. You think only with God's help you didn't have anything to do with it? I don't know. When people say only with God's help, I always wonder, how do you know? Because like, how come he didn't just take away the vertigo? I don't know. That opens up a whole can of worms of conversation, but I always just think about that kind of stuff. I've tried what? What? I have trigeminal neuralgia, nicknamed the suicide disease. Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, that is terrible. Yeah, I've heard of that. Anyways, to finish the story, the Chris McQuaid guy is gonna give me a bunch of that wood and stuff once I can go grab it. He's saving it for me from the burn pile, which is wicked because I can definitely use it to make stuff. I love it when stuff has a story too. So some of the stuff I'm imagining has a story. We didn't talk too much about it, but yeah. Uh, Josh, you're a good storyteller. I have told some good ones on these lives. Hi, Josh from Florida. Love your vlogs. I wanted to say we think you're awesome talent. Loved the video with your brothers and Jade. Stay away from Carolina Reapers. Word, those are awful. Josh, I like your stories. You make them seem real. That's the goal. I like how I met Alex stories. Oh, you guys don't know how I met Alex? So those of you who don't know who Alex is the Curiosity Inc. guy. He bought the Potter's House. A lot of you guys know me from there. I've gotten probably maybe 500 to 1,000 of you guys not from there. So just for you guys, I'll reintroduce how I met Alex. So Alex is like a guy who owns a store. He does cool stuff. His channel is Curiosity Inc. I've known him for a while. I've known him like for how many years? Maybe like 17 years or something like that. I don't know. He's older than me by about 12 years or something like that. So anyways, I was probably 8 or 9 or something, I want to say. I used to live in Edmonton. Now I live outside of Edmonton, but I used to live in Edmonton at about, I guess, I was born in Edmonton till about uh, 10 years old or something like that. But, anyways, at this point, I lived in Edmonton. I was 8 or 9 years old or something like that. I must have been 8, I guess. Um, anyways, oh, hey, Mary Jane. I talk to her on Facebook quite often too, sort of. Uh, anyways, um, what was I saying? I always get distracted. I was, okay, sorry. I have the worst ADD. I just read one comment and then I'm like, I go off the rails. Okay, how did I meet Alex? I was about 8 years old or something. Put that in the box. Keep that in your memory. And we have this mall here called West Edmonton Mall, and it used to be the biggest in North America, and it might be again because they added another amount of square footage. Doesn't matter. Anyways, the mall is older than I am, but anyways, we went to the mall one day. They have this cool water park in there, right? And the water park is probably one of the coolest things about the mall. And they have like all these big ass slides in it. They had this one called the Sky Screamer. Oh wait, was that the roller coaster? They also have like a roller coaster and stuff in there, like a theme park. Not a theme park, but they have rides and stuff in there. Anyways, one of the slides is really high up. I can't remember if it was called the Sky Screamer or if that's one of the rides in Galaxyland, which is also in the mall. Doesn't matter. It's a big tall slide. Anyways, I'm climbing up this ladder. It's more stairs, not really a ladder. And you had to be like a certain height to be in this slide. So I just make it, right? And so I'm going up to all these stairs and it's really tall. It's like basically at the ceiling of the water park. And it's like, you go up all the stairs and there's this guy behind me and he's going up the stairs and he's probably like, I don't know, I think he was in his 20s or something like that. I didn't know. He was just a old guy to me. So I'm going up these stairs. I'm with my little brother, Dakota. And we're get to the top, and there's a lineup that's coming down the stairs a little bit. And when we finally get to the top, we're waiting, and there's this like commotion, I guess. So how you have to understand these stairs is that they go like 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 stairs, but like spirally. I don't know how to explain that better. Anyways, there's this commotion back there, and we're like trying to see what it is, but everyone, like we're probably like the youngest people there because we barely make it past the how tall you can be, and we see all this like like a mosh pit basically, and there's like and it's all echoey in there, so you can't really hear anything. And then the guy behind me happens to be Alex, and the one of the dudes who's fighting. So these people were fighting on one of the landings, and one of these dudes runs up the stairs, and he grabs me as like a shield from the other guy. So I'm like a little kid, right? And he's grabbing me, this random dude, and the other guy who's fighting him is not gonna hit me because I'm a little kid, and the guy's holding me. So Alex, who I don't know at this point, he's just chilling, sees this happen, looks at us, and like basically like saves my life. I mean, I probably wouldn't have gotten hurt, but Alex like just puts him in like a chokehold until he drops me, and then tosses him down the slide, and then I'm fine. And then so Alex is an adult at this point. I'm like a little kid. So he goes and sees my mom, and like I go down the slide, he goes down the slide. No, first he went down the slide, then I went down the slide. He waits for me, and he's like, all right, let's go find your mom. We go find my mom, and then he tells my mom, this story is made up. That's not how you met Alex. um, anyways, how I actually met Alex is I went to his store. That whole story was made up. I was trying to I was I was trying to think of this story off the top of my head, and it wasn't going anywhere, so I had to like put some drastic measures in it. Anyways, Alex is a hero. I like this story better than the boat one. You like it better than the boat one? Really? Vertigo is the worst. Bonnie Howell. Bonnie Howell. Man, this lady. I have your list right here. She's got so many things on her list. She bought the ladybug. That's cool. She's going to get the seagull on the wooden post. And she's got a couple deck signs. One of my favorite clients. Thank you so much, Bonnie Howell, for the extra $1.99. And if you'll buy that, I'll throw the Golden Gate in free. Yeah, write a book. Alex is always the hero in all your stories. I think that shows how much you respect him. Maybe. So many people believed the boar story last time. I don't even remember what the boar story was. I don't remember. These comments are like super delayed, so I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing your reactions right away, but yeah. Oh, boat story. Yeah, the boat story was more natural. I mean that one I came up like it just like the stories that I tell are just made up. Like I don't think of them beforehand. So sometimes they go somewhere and sometimes they don't, and they can become more believable. Um, yeah. How I actually met Alex is not as interesting. How I actually met Alex, and by the way, for everyone, Alex does actually own a store called Curiosity Inc. and he has a YouTube channel, Curiosity Inc. I didn't actually meet him in like some sort of grand heroic whatever. I guess it's kind of heroic, but not really. But how I actually met him, it didn't involve saving my life, and I wasn't a child. I was probably, I would say more like around 20 years old or something like that when I met him. And we met like, so he likes antiques and stuff, right? So he has like, he used to own a toy store, but he has like this eccentric, what would you call it? Like personality where he's always like looking at weird, quirky, anomaly riddled things. And I like oddities and stuff as well. So how we actually met, which I was probably around 19, 20, 21, something like that. I remember I was able to drive. So I must have been, I may have even been only 16. I'm trying to think, what was I driving? I was driving a station wagon, so I was probably 19. Okay, I was 19. Okay, so anyways, I made this bet that I could make $1,000 collecting bottles in 1 month with a friend, and so I would like go out, drive around, and I would take all these bottles, and I would get as much bottles as I could every day, right? And I had a regular job too, so I'd get all the bottles from like the staff room, I'd be like, throw those in my car. Anyways, I made, we go to the bottle depot, right? And I make like, I don't know, 3 or 4 trips to the bottle depot. Probably more than that, probably like 6 trips. And Alex works at the bottle depot and he owns this toy store, right? So the first time I go there, uh, he's like, "Wow, that's a lot of bottles." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, you work." So you talk to people, and I'm like, "Yeah, so what's up?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, like this is my part-time gig. I own a toy store. It's whatever. It's a whatever." He's telling me about his toy store. I leave. I go back to go get more bottles. I come back, and he's like, "Oh, hey, it's you again." Blah blah, blah. We get talking. He's talking about his toy store, and he's like, "You're not gonna believe this." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know." He's like, "Do you have any more bottles?" And I was like, "Yeah, I probably have like another couple car trips full of bottles." And he's like, "So my goal is to make $1,000 at the end of the month, right?" And I'm at like $1,400 at this point. I go back. I come back with my last final thing. and I had it's like $2,047 or something like that. It's just over $2,000. And he's like, dude, and I'm like, or something like that. He's like, man, you're not gonna believe this. Like earlier, he said, you're not gonna believe this, and he wouldn't tell me what. And he's like, do you have more bottles? He's like, well, I'll tell you if you come back again. So I come back again, and it's like 2,046 ish dollars, something like that, over 2,000, anyways. And he's like, yep, yeah, this is my last day. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, he's like, I was waiting for something like this to happen. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, if someone was going to come in here with over $2,000 worth of bottles, I was going to quit my job and then do the toy store full time. And so he went from doing the toy store, closed that down, and then into antiques. And so all of his success is thanks to me having over $2,000 worth of bottles, which is pretty insane. Uh, yeah, that's how it happened. I just popped in. Did I miss a lot? You missed two uh, lies, two jokes. We'll call them jokes. They're not lies. Two tall tales. I just was telling stories of how I met Alex. Both of them were false. They're just jokes. Um, I did not see the auction video. So, yeah, obviously that is not a true story. It's just, I'm just gonna say that so no one goes like, "Oh, hey, I heard how you met Alex." I did actually make $2,000 in bottles, but he wasn't there. I didn't know him back then. Um, I thought if I put enough details in the stories that you would be like, "Oh, yeah, maybe that did happen." um, yeah, you are a good story. $2,000 worth of bottles is 20,000 bottles. That's like 10 cents each. Well, some of them are like 20 cents, right? So, or 25 cents. Like milk bottles are worth a decent amount. Kegs are worth $30. So that if you can get kegs, like they're $30. If you can get let's see, milk bottles, wine bottles, big water bottles, like those big jugs, like the jugs that I have right there, right there. Those can be I think those are $10, something like that. So you have to try to get the biggest bottles you can, and they're worth more. Then you can collect less, right? And you can crush them. Those are hard to crush. You can't actually crush those very easily. But if you crush them, they're better. You can't crush kegs either. But the bigger bottles and stuff, that's what you want to get. Because, milk bottles, just crush those into little small things, put them in a bag, bring them over. Yeah. So I would say lots of them were bottles and cans, which are 10 cents. But a lot of them were milk jugs and stuff. Uh, Hold on, I missed some super chats. Well, I apologize. Terry, crap, missed the beginning because I had the urge to go buy a couple of hummingbird feeders at Home Depot. Terry, I think you're in here as well, aren't you? Am I lying? I recognize your picture. I recognize your hair, but I mean, you're not the only one who has hair like that, I guess. There you are, Terry. Scorpion. Yeah, you want a scorpion. Thank you so much. Hi from Ireland. Hello, Jerry. Or Gary. Probably Jerry. Audrey Jennings. Wow. $20. I really love the J Rock. Thank you so much. You can write a book, How I Met Alex. You know what would be hilarious? If I wrote like a kid's storybook that was like a series where it's like How I Met Alex, but there's like a whole bunch of them. I'd have to write them with him. He probably wouldn't be down, but that would be hilarious. What to believe from here on out? If I'm not being honest, I will say it. Like I don't like to lie, so If I'm kidding, I will say that I'm kidding afterwards. If I don't say I'm kidding, then you know it's true. Like that one time that I broke my neck. I'm kidding. I've never broken my neck. Imagine I did though. Wow, that would suck. Alberta recycling is a little different than Manitoba. There's depots all over the place, like Saskatchewan. Have you seen Alex's newest toy, the car? I actually knew about that car for months. So yeah, I've seen it. It's really cool. Uh, how is Alberta recycling different than Manitoba? Here, there's bottle depots everywhere. I know that in some provinces, you don't actually take your bottles in to get a refund for them. They just go in the regular recycle. Here, you collect money for your bottles. I thought that was everywhere, but I don't know. OMG, take that advice and make a book of how I met Alex. I love your stories. Like my brother, he has you believing him when he tells a punchline that makes it all a joke. So fun. He's 82 years old. I really admire resourceful people. I wish we had hummingbirds in England. Oh, you probably do have hummingbirds in England because they migrate across the ocean and stop in England and keep going to wherever they're going. I can't remember where. But yeah, they are probably there for a little while, I believe. I could be lying. I could be thinking of somewhere else. This is not an intentional story, but I believe that is true. But I can't remember exactly. Those are big. Would be great as a coin bank for my son. Oh, the bottles? Uh, I think you should suggest to Alex to put a wind-up thingy on the back of his new car. Dude, that would be hilarious. You tried so hard to keep a straight face. Yeah, I did. Uh, you know what I might do? If I still have this piece of styrofoam, I might make a wind-up key thing and then just put it on his car as a joke and see if he what he says. But I gotta put it on there without damaging the actual car, so I can't really stick it on there with anything. But maybe if I can suction cup it on, that would be hilarious. I love when you're joshing around. I am. Bought a heart and want a scorpion. We'll be asking about a commission piece soon. Fantastic, thank you. Great time for stories. Thanks for big money can be made in children's publications. Yeah, I was in the Bronx in New York and they had these reverse vending machines where you put in bottles and they dispense money. Coolest idea ever. What if someone brings like as much bottles as I had? They would run out of money and room. What's on your agenda today? My agenda today was to make these hangs planks, but it's pouring rain outside. Actually, no, it's just sprinkling out right now. The shop here doesn't have any power in it, so I'd have to go to my other shop, but it's half an hour away, and I don't feel like going there because I'm going to my mother's for supper in 4 hours. And so, right when I'm getting started over at the other shop, I'd have to shut down. But I'm going to be making some Hanks planks and demotivational signs maybe tomorrow, I guess. But I'm going to probably today. I might go. I might paint. I might paint a picture. Uh, Here's that praying mantis that I made the other day. I didn't make a video of this one. I didn't want all my build videos just to be welding stuff. Uh, So I don't even think I put this in any of the vlogs, but this is in a Instagram post. He's really hard to take good pictures of, so I'm gonna try to take pictures of him against a backdrop. So let me explain what everything is. This is a railroad spike. This is just some ready rod. His head is actually a square nut that I filled in, and then I put two other nuts for eyes. His arms and legs are nails, and then screws for his little pincher things. And then his shell things, whatever those are called, this and this, are siding from my in-laws' house. So it's actually white siding. You can see the inside, but I turned it the opposite way because it's got like this cool like ivory color. I think it's neat. These are very fragile. This is hard to weld with my welder, but it sticks on there. This one I had to stick on with this stuff actually, water weld, so that it wouldn't come off. So if you ever order anything from me and it gets damaged, you do have permission to fix it. I know some artists don't appreciate when people fix their stuff that they make because then it's not just solely theirs. But for me, I don't care. You can repair anything the way that you see fit to repair it. It's just as long as you don't alter it into something that I didn't make, sort of thing. Or you can send it back to me and I'll fix it for free. But that doesn't happen often. It just happens every once in a while, and that sucks. Make about 50 of those jokers about how you met. I love it. You love the book idea. Manitoba, we don't have those depots. You turn them into the vendor where you bought the bottles. Oh, I think we have that too at certain grocery stores, but uh, you can't bring in like tons and tons and tons of bags. But I do see people bring in bottles to like we have a superstore. I I imagine maybe you have superstore as well. I know it's Canadian, so I don't know if that's more of a Western Canada thing, but you can do it there. You can do it at superstore. I've seen that before, and I was like, "What the heck are you doing? Why are you bringing your bottles here?" And they're like, "Oh, they just give you money for it." So your hummingbird noise is spot on. Wyatt is going to go to work. Thanks for being here, Wyatt. That would be great for yours and Dakota's podcast. Have us guess if it's true or a whale's tale. Okay, so what we're gonna do for just joshing with Dakota, we're gonna make a channel here, and we're going to put one video on. We need to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours on it before we can do it live. We wanted the first episode to be live, but you can't do a live video without 1,000 subscribers and whatever. And there might not be 1,000 people interested in it right away, so that might not even be a possibility. But how we're thinking about doing the show is each week we do one show where it's an hour of us shooting the shit. It'll be pretty candid, I think, off the cuff sort of stuff, but we're gonna structure it around a topic, and then it might go off the rails from there. So if the topic is like, how many times did you almost die? That's pretty interesting, right? So we could start telling the stories. But if it goes off the rails and we start talking about the first time we accidentally, uh, whatever, I don't know, set the house on fire, which I guess could be the same thing, then it'll go into that, which then might turn into like the amount of times that you got shut down by a girl to going off the rails to the amount of times you accidentally swallowed a bug to off the rails of how many times you almost died. It might come full circle. Who knows? But we do that once a week, I think is probably pretty good. And then once or twice a month, perhaps we do a live. So we would just hang out with you guys doing it live, answering your questions, sort of thing. The only thing is to do live videos, you need to have 1,000 subscribers. Here it's easy for me to do because there's 17,000 of you. There's only 246 of you on right now, but I probably get, I don't know, 2 or 3,000 views on these after. I know a lot of you guys just watch when you can. In the wintertime, there's a lot more views because people aren't doing stuff because it's not summer, right? So, and also a lot of you guys are, maybe not you guys, but a lot of the people who are on here, subscribers, are just here because Alex told you to come over here or whatever, something like that, right? Which I appreciate all of you. But my point is that to do that the way we want to do it, we have to have the subscription. So I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. We'll see. I don't know. Now we need Alex made up version, how he met you. Let him know it has to beat the boat story. Okay. Use magnets. That would be awesome. Oh yeah, magnets. But I'd have to seat the magnet in there somehow. That's a good idea though. Oh, you're talking about, okay, I thought you were talking about this bug. I'm behind on the thing. Yeah, magnets on the thing, yeah. I used to cash refunds on bottles in the UK when I was a kid, but it stopped many, many years ago. Man, I'm not ashamed of making money in unconventional ways. So anytime I like when I was little, this is a true story by the way. When I was little, probably 7 or so, I used to go in the springtime. I would pick pussy willows off the trees, not off the trees, but off the brush pile. Like we had a communal burn pile in our neighborhood, I guess you could call it. And so everyone would like do their spring cleanup, whatever, chop down trees or do whatever, and they'd bring it to this one communal burn pile, which was in a big field. And anyways, in the fall, basically in the winter, really, they would burn the burn pile. And but you could put stuff there every spring and into the summer. I mean, you could do it anytime, but mostly people did it in the spring. Anyways, we would clip the pussy willows off of it, me and my little brother, and then we would do what'd you call it? Uh, Bouquets? Would you call it a bouquet? We would make bouquets of pussy willows and we'd go door to door selling that stuff. And I'm pretty sure most people bought it because we were two little boys selling freaking pussy willows, not because they wanted pussy willows, but and it would be mostly older women who would be like, "Oh, you guys are so cute. I'm gonna put these on my table right now." And then they would, they would give us like two, three, $4, something like that. And we thought that was awesome. So I used to do that. I used to mow grass, which is more common for kids to do that. But I like to do, I like to make money by not going to work. If I have to go to work, of course I will. I'm not stupid and I'm not going to neglect my responsibilities and make my wife do all the breadwinning. That would be an asshole move. I would never do that. But I make a decent amount of money doing the art, so I don't worry about it too much anymore. And a lot of that is thanks to you guys. Like this book right here, if your name is in here, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. If you would like to be added to the book, you can just get at me at orderfromjosh@gmail.com and I can make you something. And it doesn't have to be art. I can make you a table. Oh, by the way, I might be able to exchange a kitchen table in exchange for getting a bobcat to do my landscaping around the shop so that I can build the lean-to and then I can do the work inside the garage and I can get the electric running and all that stuff. Pretty excited about that. Uh, Hold on a second. I'm becoming really weary about bottle purchases, especially plastic. Too much garbage already. Besides, I like making my drinks, coffee, tea mostly. Don't do booze. Word. Yeah, it's probably best to not buy drinks. Like I have like these bottles that are plastic, but they're like reusable. That I mostly drink. I try to drink water now. That is an awesome mantis. You really have a great life. So nice to see young people, person so successful. Prayers, my friend. Oh, thanks, Audrey. Perhaps I look more successful than I am, or maybe I'm just not grateful for for what I have because this is definitely definitely a struggle. Not a struggle. I shouldn't say that. It's not a struggle. It's I'm always reaching for higher. I should say that instead. I appreciate you. Thank you. Hummingbirds have never been found in the wild anywhere in Europe. If you think you have seen one, it was almost certainly a moth. Okay, I could be wrong. It could have gone somewhere else. I don't know. I did a book report on moths and butterflies one time. I know this is going off the rails, but butterflies are freaking interesting, especially monarch butterflies. That's insane. They like migrate and stuff. This the chef sign. That would be hilarious. In the UK, the way we recycle is we put our recycling in different colored bins that get collected weekly, and we don't get paid. We have that too. Like we have 4 bins where I live, anyways. You have your black bin, which is just your household waste. You have your blue bin, which is your plastic, whatever, recycle, whatever. You have your green bin, which is your compost, and then you have your other bin, which is like, oh, what is the other bin? I forget what the color it is. Not very many people have it. I can't remember what it is, but that's like, you put your like paints and stuff in there. Not very many people have it. I think it's like gray. or something. But you put paint and like aerosol cans and hairspray and stuff in that bin. I'm so unproductive when you go live. I just sit and hang out. Yo, me too. I'll almost certainly be a hummingbird hawk moth. This moth is similar to the tiny American bird. There are hundreds of cases of mistaken identity every year. Suggested retail price. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Wait till you see the latest diamond willow stick I picked up, Josh. Perfect walking stick size. All right, man. What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs pinned to the wall? Art. We used to get money back on glass bottles, but now glass and plastic all go into recycling bins. What do you call a man with no arms and legs stuffed in your mailbox? Bill. Ha. That's the problem I have right now, Josh. I need 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch time hours before I can go live because I use a cell phone. Yeah, guys, subscribe to Chris McQuaig. You gotta do it. There's 255 of you on there. If you all go and subscribe to him, I'm not sure how many subscribers he'll be at, but he'll be up 255. Now there's only 254. Now it's back to 255. Yo, I want you guys to be on the Spotify podcast. I never get bored. The Spotify podcast? What's that? Man with no arms and legs on your doorstep. Matt. That's a great idea. You and Alex live. Our plastic and glass are picked up monthly in wheeled bins. Hello, Tyler. I'm 3 hours behind you, so don't often catch you live. Well, thanks for being here, Deborah and Michelle. Man with no arms and legs in the water. Bob. You should do the game where you tell 3 stories, 1 real, 2 fake, and then people have to guess what is real, what is fake. They play it on Jimmy Fallon. Okay. What do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef. That's funny. What you call a dog with no arms and legs? Nothing. He isn't coming no matter what you call him. I started looking for you before you told us to look for you. I was so confused trying to do it, but found you about 5 minutes before you actually gave us your info. Awesome. Well, Alex, I don't think has ever given me my channel an actual shout out on his vlogs, but he has on his live videos. But which is fine. I never asked to be on it. Enough already. So, holy shoot. Shop Fund. I'm looking forward to watching the new channel with Dakota. You'll figure it out in the meantime. You're doing great with your vlogs you share. Okay, this Enough Already person. I hope I'm not embarrassing them. Well, their name is Enough Already, so you're probably not going to know who it is. But I have this piece of paper here somewhere. Okay. Where is it? When I was writing down the hats. So she bought a hat, I believe. Oh, where is it? I wrote it down somewhere. But she gave me like an extra $130. Then when I released my on Teespring the tote bag, she bought 10 of them, which is insane. What is this? Then dang it, where is it? Anyways, she's done so much. I really appreciate you Enough Already. Actually, if you go on my Teespring, the tote bag actually says his or her name. I don't know why I said her. It could be totally a guy. I don't know why I said her. But I think they're also getting some other stuff, but I can't remember. But I stuffed all my paperwork together, and then like their name kept coming up, and I was like, wait, oh, this person. All right, and now I remember who they are. But now every time I see them, I'm like, holy crap. Thanks so much, Enough Already. But anyways, the tote bag says, plastic sucks. What does it say? Yeah, plastic sucks. And then it has my logo, and then it says Enough Already. But that's like a shout out to them. Little entrepreneur. Yo, I totally was. Like, that's how I describe myself now, I guess. That sounds pretentious though, so I'm not like, oh yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah, it's nice to meet you. But you know, uh, what do you call a dog with no legs? Doesn't matter. Still won't come to you. Wait, dog's got no arms. What? I buy water in plastic bottles, but I turn them into eco bricks. They are going to be used to build raised beds to grow vegetables. Oh, okay, that's cool. Being an artist full time is harder than any job I've ever had, and I have worked in the oil field, construction trades, and underground diamond mining. Yo, I would agree with you. I've never done diamond mining, and I've never worked in the oil field, but I've only worked in construction and in factories and fab shops. So all trade work, which I guess is harder physically on your body, especially for a small guy like me. Like I only weigh 150 pounds. I'm not big by any means. Um, I mean, you get pretty ripped if you're framing every day, but uh, and drywall sucks. It's so heavy. Drywall has like gives you this weird strength though, right? Like I'm pretty small, and you guys know Johnny B. So Johnny B, you can't tell, but if he were to take off his shirt, he's like, he's big. He's rippled with muscles, but he's a semi-professional athlete, right? So I told him, I'm like, yo, this is not easy work. He's like, you'll be fine. I'm fine, dude. I'm strong. I'm like, yeah, you are strong, but this is a different kind of strong. This is like farmer strong. You have to be a different kind of strong. So we're like holding up boards, right? And holding up the boards, all the blood drains out of your arms, which then makes you really tired fast. And I'm like, sometimes you have to hold it up there for like 2 minutes because one person's screwing, the other person's holding it, and some of the boards are 14 feet long. You can also get 16-foot boards, but that's super long. That's you need like three people to hold that up. But anyways, we're on like a 10-foot ceiling or something like that, so it's not like you can just stand on the floor or whatever or put a pole under it. You can, I guess, if you make a like a T-pole for it. I also have a lift, but we weren't using it for this instance, and he almost dropped it. I'm like, yo, I told you it's hard. And he's like, yeah, yeah, that's harder than I thought it would be. But yeah, when you do it for a while, then you kind of get that weird strength. Same with like if you see rock climbers, their hands are so thick and big. Like I used to rock climb, like as a hobby at like a rock gym, and man, holding on to those little holds. Like I only got to like, let's see, my hardest is probably like a 5'9" and a half ish area. So I wasn't super good or anything, but I would try to hold on to these little holds, and man, that is difficult. I'm binge watching Mad Men. Anyone else watching something good? I've never seen that show. Someone says yes. I'm watching Josh. You should eat more spicy jerky. That was funny. That stuff was crap. It was so hot. Let's see what Chris is all about. Heading up his channel now. Word. Do it. Wow, enough already. Just might be a big Josh fan. I think they are. My vids are bad quality, but the work I have up speaks for itself. Still trying to do better vids and more often. Dude, yeah. Good videos. I don't know what constitutes a good video because some people, I don't get very many negative comments. I feel like most of the people who watch my videos are more fans of me rather than the video, so I don't really get bad comments except for from trolls. Except for on the countertop build. Lots of people hate that one, which I don't get it, but whatever. Uh, so I never know if a video is good or not good because I feel like just my core is watching it. I'm trying to like branch it out, but vlogs are hard for people to get into if they don't know the person, right? So the vlogs are supposed to be a side thing for me, and that's why I post. I post them like 2 times a week or so, sometimes 3. But they're supposed to be like the in between the build videos. The build videos is like that's what I'm trying to show off is like the stuff that I make and paint. So in the vlogs, I will put some of the stuff I make too, because that's what my channel is about, is making. But some of the things just don't warrant a build video necessarily, because I'm not a teacher, and some of the builds are kind of boring to watch by themselves as a build video, if that makes sense. That's so nice of you to acknowledge a supporter with their nickname on a product. I thought it'd be cool. I do sound for fun. My money is earned through my labor. The arts is incredibly difficult on the psyche, especially if you get too wrapped up in the dreams that go with them. I guess it depends. I'm like a guy who's like, I'm going to make a living doing what I love to do, even if I have to support that with a part time job doing something else, which mostly I do drywall because it's the easiest trade for me to do. It's the easiest to make a lot of money, or I shouldn't say a lot, a decent amount of money quickly, right? It's not like building a house. I've never built a house under my own contract. I've always been on a crew to build a house, like frame a house. That takes forever. It takes like, you know, I don't know, say on a two-man crew, it takes like 3 weeks to build a cookie cutter house, ish. It should take about 2 weeks, I guess. But for a two-man crew or even a three man crew, it's about 3 weeks ish. Uh, unless it's a good, unless you're on a roll, I guess. It all depends. It usually took us about between 2 and 3 weeks to build to frame a house, or a duplex. To do custom houses, sometimes it would take longer because they're way bigger and stuff, and they'd have tall walls and stuff like that. So I don't do those, and especially because code has changed since I've been doing framing. So I just mostly do non-structural framing. But to do drywall, code barely ever changes, right? Sometimes it's like, oh, you need to use 5/8 here. Oh, you need to use ceiling board here. Oh, you have to use whatever. Oh, you have to use this. Oh, aqua board. That's easy to know, right? Plus, I always recommend using the highest quality in the different areas that is required sometimes in some places. So I'm like, yo, we're gonna use 5/8 here. You have a neighbor there, 5/8. Kitchen, and you have a neighbor, 5/8. Bathroom, aqua board the whole thing. Use dent shield in your shower. Stuff like that, right? I forget what I was saying now. Damn it. I try to make it so that, yeah, I can do art for a living. And so far it's been working out since I've been doing it most recently. It's just now I have this house, which is not finished, but finishing it takes money. So I don't make quite enough money to do what I want to do, but I'm content, if that makes sense. See you later, Susan. Interacting with fans makes you good. Oh, thanks. Ah, I think my vids are bad. LOL. Rehabbed a house once drywaling sucked. Took like 2 weeks to recover from ceiling work. Oh, if you do it every day, it gets easier, of course. You trying to paint with Bob Ross's music. I might do another one of those. I've been meaning to give away that painting, but I want to give 1 day notice, and I'm just too busy right now. Right now, I just happen to have some time because it was raining and I was going to go work outside. So that didn't work out. So, yeah. Have you heard of TikTok media site? Someone told me about TikTok. I think one of the other vlogs or live videos, but I don't remember. I prefer mudding than hanging board. I hate taping and mudding. Hanging board is so easy. You know what's the most rewarding is when a taper is like, dude, you were the best boarder we've ever worked against. Because lots of boarding people don't care, right? They're like, it's just a corner, the taper will fix it. Yeah, word, he will fix it, but it takes extra time and you don't get paid extra for it. Now, in certain apartment builds and stuff, some of the bigger builds, they're starting to implement that again. Where it used to be $5 per fix. So if there was a corner broken off of a board where a joint would be, that would be $5. And then $5, $5. Every plug blowout would be $5. And then they got rid of that uh, because the economy started going down. But now they're doing it again. I heard. I don't do apartments anymore, and I probably never will because that sucks. And they only pay like 30 cents, about 35 cents if you're really good at it, and about $1 for foot of bead. I'm not down with that. I rather make the full amount. I don't understand how a builder can justify making about $1 per every 30 cents that you make. That's ridiculous. I don't know. If they like split down the middle, like 50-50, so you made 75 cents or whatever, that would make more sense. I don't understand how anyone works for builders because they just take so much money from you. I don't know. Uh, Consider your steps are the path to the next step, so it's best you are considerate. What? You hit the nail on the head, Josh. Most boarders think that. Oh, who cares? The motor will fix it. All boarders think that. Since I tape my boarding jobs, usually, I will make it like I will have the least amount of joints. I'll put in invisible joints or infinity cuts or whatever you call them. I don't know what you would call them where you're from, but here they're called invisible joints or infinity cuts. As much as I can so that you don't have to tape so much. I will try to put my seams on windows rather than beside windows. I don't understand why anyone puts them beside windows and doors. I'm like, what are you doing? I could tape like this much, but now I have to tape 8 feet because you put your joint beside the window. That looks terrible. Now the person who does the finishing, one board is going to be up here and then the other, yeah, it's going to look stupid. What are you doing? I don't understand why anyone does that. Some stuff is common sense. Or they're just getting noobs to do everything because no one who's good at it will do it because it's not worth working for them. I don't know. I'm thinking about doing a painting of a squirrel on a tightrope. Is that stupid? No? Uh, I wouldn't. No, that's cool. Construction has been my favorite out of home career I've ever had. Audrey's gotta go. Thanks. The worst is a seam on a plug or a light box. I don't mind those if the box is inside and then if you just put a little tuck tape there, because then you don't have to clean it out and shock yourself sometimes. So what I do is if the box is recessed enough, I'll just put a piece of tape there, right? You just put it over top of it. Then you can run your box right over it and it doesn't affect it. And then when you wipe your, well, I don't know if you wipe. I wipe all my mud after I box it because I want it to be easier to sand. I usually don't have to sand in between coats because I just wipe it as smooth as I can, and then I'll put it so that I'll do that with like a 10-inch box. Wipe it, come back with my 12-inch box, wipe that. I will sand that, and then if it needs a skim, I will skim it by hand, and then I will sand it and then finish sand it. So over light boxes or plugs, it doesn't bother me so much unless it's right beside it. If it's like this, I hate that. If it's like this, I don't mind it. But like this, I hate that. It sucks. Victoria Hinton, why would you be that stupid to Jessica? What? Oh, why would that be stupid? Right. Okay. I thought you said why would you be that stupid? Why would that be stupid? Yeah, why would it be stupid? That's a good idea, the squirrel on a tightrope. Sometimes I just feel like my ideas are lame. It's good to get feedback. No, that's not lame at all. That's actually a good idea. Yeah. I kind of want to steal that idea, but I won't. That's a good idea. Jessica, you could put him hanging on for dear life. Once a squirrel tried the tightrope on an electrical line here and got fried. Oh, word. Yeah, you see that all the time. If they're touching, if they just touch the wire by itself, they'll be fine. But if they are grounded and touch the wire, then they'll, yeah. I do feathers. The edges, when it dries, it feels like I do feathers. I, I do feather. I do feather the edges. When it dries, it feels like glass. I whip my mud and let it sit for 24 hours and whip it again before I use it. Really? For that long? I've never done that. That's a good, that might work. You know what sucks is when you forget to cover your mud when you're done and you can't use it. So what I do is I just whip it right away, use it right away, and it's usually good. But here's the, like, most tapers have their own techniques, which is why I hate criticizing tapers when they get fired off a job. And I come in and then they say, "What do you think of this guy?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know, because I don't know what he was thinking or she, right? They it looks bad now, but all taping looks bad in the first step because it's a messy job. I shouldn't say all. Some people are really, really clean and really good, which you might be one of those people. I am not because it's clean is not fast. I'm just clean-ish. I'm not as messy as other people are, and that way, in that sense, it's hard to judge a tape job halfway through because it's not done, so you don't know if this guy just has some oddball technique where he's just like, yo, no, I just slather it on and I sand it to glass smooth finish, right? I don't know. I think I'm a pretty good taper, but in my own house, I didn't do that good of a job by accident. I had so much going on at one time, like this wall over here in my living room. I noticed that I only rough sanded it. And I was like, wait a minute. I can see scratches in this wall. What is that? I was like, maybe that's an old wall because I didn't re-drywall everything. And then I was like, wait a minute, no, that's not an old wall. Why is it like that? And I'm like, I didn't finish sand it because what I saw when I did it before paint, I was like, okay, that wall sanded, 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 that wall sanded. All good. It's all sanded because it looked sanded from the eye, but I never light checked it. So, and I forgot that I didn't finish sand it. I just saw that it had dust all over it. So I'm like, well, yeah, it's sanded. Why would I not have finished sanded that, but I finished sanded these? You know what I mean? So in that vein, I'm like, maybe I'm not so good, but it's just because I forgot. And since it's my house, it doesn't matter. If that was a client's house, I would ask them, I'd be like, yo, I forgot to finish sand this. I can skim this for you, or I can give you your money back. And then oftentimes, if you're a good contractor, like you're friendly and all that stuff, they'll forgive stuff like that. That's never happened to me in a job like that where I haven't finished sanding something. But sometimes there's little things where I will just be like, I will give you $500 to forgive this, or I can redo it, or whatever, and that takes care of it. That only happened 2 times, but yeah. But anyways, I've been on for a really long time, so I also sand in the dark with a bright spotlight. You can see the smallest of shadow imperfections. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I use like a 300-watt light bulb. Anyway, we're talking about taping right now, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see if I can get some work done. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. I've been on for almost 2 hours, so I will talk to you later. I really appreciate all the super chats. Thank you so much. If you can hit up Teespring, that would be sick. Um, let's see here. I have one vlog that I'm going to start filming probably on Saturday, so that the next one will be there. So I may do another live video giving away the Alexander Ross painting. So stay tuned. See you later. Thank you so much. Go check out Chris McQuaig. All right, see you later. How do I do this? I always forget.